Hello, this is Gihan Pereira. One of the biggest challenges that many leaders face now is how they can trust their people more. And it's really important in this fast-changing, uncertain world. Of course, you want to be able to trust your people more because you want them to have more responsibility, to have more accountability, to make their own decision when things change around them. And of course, things are changing really fast. So you don't want them coming back to you all the time because then you become a bottleneck and they never really learn those skills. They never learn to exercise good judgment. So you want to be able to trust them more. And it's not that you don't trust them as people, but when you're delegating work to them, you want to be able to be sure that even if they're not in the same office as you and they're working from home, that you can trust them. So you may be wondering, did they actually get that email request? Did they understand it? Are they going to be reliable and deliver? Are they going to be responsive and deliver quickly as required and as the rest of the team requires? So all of these questions are things that leaders are grappling with now. So what can you do to build trust with your team members? Well, to demonstrate that, I'm going to do a little bit of show and tell here. I've got this kitchen appliance, this cooking appliance, which you may or may not recognize. So if you don't recognize it, it's a sous vide cooker. And sous vide is French for under vacuum, and it's a style of cooking where if you want to cook a steak or a bit of salmon or some veggies, you put it into a plastic bag and then pop it into a pot of water. And then you put this cooker into it. And the cooker does two things, and that's all it does. It heats up the water to a specific temperature, and then it has a timer, so it cooks for a certain amount of time, and then an alarm goes off so that you know to stop cooking. Here's the thing with the sous vide cooker. The only thing that really matters is that you get the temperature exactly right. So I know that if I want to cook salmon medium rare, I set the temperature to 57.2 degrees. There's even an app here with my favorite recipes on there, so it'll set it for me. But as long as I get the temperature right, it really doesn't matter for how long I cook it. So I set the timer for 30 minutes, but if I forget, and it goes for 45 minutes or I don't hear the timer, no problem. If it goes for an hour, no problem. The salmon doesn't get overcooked. It literally is set and forget as long as you set the temperature right. Apart from that, it's really forgiving. And I reckon the same thing applies when you're thinking about your team members and building trust with them. Each of your team members, I reckon there's one specific thing that you can do for each of them that'll help build that trust. And it's going to be different for different team members. Just like the temperature for salmon is different from the temperature for steak, which is different than the temperature for veggies. So figure out what's one thing that you can do with each of your team members to build more trust. For example, if it's somebody who's not very experienced, then maybe the guideline, that the agreement that you set up between you and them is that whenever you send them something, they have to reply within half an hour with their plan, with their outline of how they're going to tackle that task. And then you can review that together. That's good for somebody junior. For somebody more experienced, maybe you just say you have to respond within an hour. So at least I know that you've got it, and you don't have to have actually done the work, but at least you'll let me know when it's going to be done. So for myself, for my business manager, Emma, when we work together, we each work from our homes, and we use Trello, which is an online collaboration tool, and tasks that Emma's working on, they go on her Trello board. And we've got an understanding that Emma checks Trello regularly throughout the day. So if I've got a new task for her, instead of sending an email and then twiddling my thumbs, wondering whether she's got it, I put it on Trello, and that's it. It's set and forget for me, because I know that Em will be checking Trello regularly during the day. And she might have been working on some other tasks, but she'll take a break and she'll check Trello. She might have gone out for coffee with a friend, and that's okay, because I know that when she gets back, she'll check Trello. And so for me, and for us working together, Trello is a way for me to do set and forget, and then I trust Emma to do the work because I know she does high quality work as long as she knows about it. So that may be something that works for some of your team members. For other people, you'll create something else. And it's not about the technology, it's about the agreement that you create. It's about the temperature that you set for each of your team members. So think about, what can you do for each of your team members that allows you to set and forget. And that helps to build that culture of trust. It won't be perfect because things will fall through the cracks. Sometimes it won't work perfectly, but it'll get you 80 or 90% of the way there. I hope you try that now. So look at all your team members and come to some agreement with each of them in how to build more trust with them. You'll find it really useful in being fit for the future.